When Yoonhee turned 78, she realized something she had spent her whole life avoiding. Her children were too busy to need her anymore. Her son lived abroad, her daughter had her own family, and phone calls came less often. For a while, she waited by the window each afternoon, hoping one of them might surprise her. But days turned into months, and loneliness crept in like a cold fog. Then, one morning, she decided she would not grow old waiting. If happiness wasn't going to come from her family, she would find it elsewhere. That day, she wrote on a piece of paper, 5 things I can count on for happiness, health, and peace. It would become her new guide to living. The first thing was routine, not the dull, automatic kind, but the kind that gives purpose. Every morning, Yoonhee woke before sunrise, opened her window to the cool air, and stretched her arms toward the sky. She brewed green tea, watered her plants, and walked to the park before the city stirred. The rhythm grounded her. It gave her a reason to move, a quiet sense of control. Routine, she realized, was like a heartbeat. As long as it stayed steady, life felt safe. At the park, she discovered her second anchor, community. She started greeting the same faces every day: the old man feeding pigeons, the retired teacher practicing Tai Chi, the group of women who met under the oak tree to talk and laugh. Slowly, she joined them. They were not family, yet they became something even more precious. People who saw her, not as a mother or widow, but as Yoonhee herself. With them, she learned that laughter shared with strangers can feel warmer than silence shared with family. The third thing she came to rely on was learning. One rainy afternoon, she wandered into a local library to escape the cold. There, a notice caught her eye: free English classes for seniors. She hesitated. She hadn't been in a classroom for 50 years, but something inside her stirred. She signed up. The first few lessons were difficult, her tongue clumsy with unfamiliar sounds, but soon she found herself smiling again. Learning something new made her feel young, curious, and alive. It reminded her that the mind, like a plant, keeps growing if watered with curiosity. As the weeks passed, she found her fourth source of peace: self-care. Not vanity, but care in its truest sense. She began cooking colorful meals, walking longer distances, and meditating before bed. She started journaling every night, writing one thing she was thankful for. On difficult days, she wrote too. She bought a small radio and danced alone in her living room. It wasn't the kind of joy that came from others. It came from honoring herself. She realized that caring for her own body and mind wasn't selfish. It was survival. The fifth and most unexpected thing was nature. She had always liked flowers, but now she looked at them differently. She began tending a small garden outside her apartment, planting herbs, tomatoes, and marigolds. Watching them grow gave her a calm no human could provide. When the world felt too heavy, she sat among her plants, listening to bees hum and leaves rustle. You can't be lonely when you have something to care for, she often told her friends. The earth, she believed, had its own quiet companionship. Months passed and Yoonhee changed. Her hair was still silver, her back still slightly bent, but there was a new light in her eyes. Her children noticed it too when they finally came to visit. "Uma, you look happier than ever," her daughter said. Eunhee only smiled. She served tea, poured with steady hands, and told them stories about her garden, her friends at the park, her English lessons. She didn't tell them about the lonely nights or the tears she shed when she first realized she had to find her own peace. Those struggles had already turned into strength. Later that night, after her children left, she sat by her window with a candle burning softly beside her. She looked at the list she had written months ago. The paper was worn, but the words still clear: routine, community, learning, self-care, nature. She added one more at the bottom: courage. Because it took courage to stop waiting for love and start building it within herself. From then on, Yoonhee became something of a quiet legend in her neighborhood. Younger women often asked her how she stayed so peaceful. She would smile and say, "When you stop depending on others for happiness, You finally meet yourself, and she's not so bad. In her final years, she continued her morning walks, her garden grew wild and fragrant, and her laughter echoed through the park. She lived simply, fully, and without bitterness. And when she passed away at 88, people said she left behind no wealth, no grand possessions, just wisdom written in her diary. Family is a blessing, but they are not the root of your joy. The roots grow inside you. Water them every day.